Welcome. This is Money 101. If that was where your intention was, you're in the right place tonight. The number one way that people ended up at our class at this workshop, Money 101, is somebody attended previously. They liked what they learned, and so they reached out to you and they invited you. And they said, hey, went to this class about money. I want to share it with you. You want to go? So we're excited that you're here. Welcome. The two questions, really big questions that we get when people attend our workshop, our Money 101, is number one, hey, Andre, what are the principles of saving money? The second question that we get is, how do I protect the money I already have? In today's just about 50-minute workshop class, you're going to leave learning those 3 principles of savings and 3 principles of protecting money. 15 years ago, our company, we made this decision. We figured out that people today would prefer to be taught what to do with their money instead of told what to do with their money. We set off on a mission 15 years ago to teach us Americans, a group that we feel is a very underserved market because people aren't taking the time to teach us about money, these principles that we wished we had known. We set off on a mission to teach these principles all across the United States. One thing that's super different about our class is no sticky name tags. We don't make you give us your name, your email address, your phone number, no retina scan, no blood draw, so that we could call you and hound you until you have to join the witness protection program and move out of state. And there's nothing for sale tonight. I invite you to sit back. If you're a note taker, it does connect the right side and the left side of the brain. I invite you to sit back and enjoy yourself. I'm gonna have a good time teaching this workshop class. I invite you that if you think I'm trying to be a little bit funny, go right on ahead and laugh a little. Tell your face by smiling. When somebody comes to our workshop class and as we wrap up, they raise their hand and they say, hey, Andre, I have a couple of questions. When we get to sit down with folks, we get to talk to them about the retirement savings teeter-totter. And on this teeter-totter, there's the risk side. Mutual funds, gold, stocks. Who knew but real estate would make it onto the risk side in 2008? Half the people in America lost half the value in their homes. On the safe side, we have things like CDs, money market accounts, maybe a little money under the mattress. I say it to be funny, but it was just a few years ago I'm with a client at her kitchen table, telling her about a guy that buries money in the backyard. As I told her, her brother walked by the kitchen door, he leaned in, he said, did you tell him? And I said, whoa, I was making a joke. And what he said to me is, as a matter of fact, Andre, I have $100,000 buried in the backyard. He lives at 1318 Main Street in Westminster, Colorado. I gave him some free advice that day. He said, you might want to dig up your money, wrap it in some plastic, bury it again so at least your money won't rot. What had happened to him, and this happened to millions of Americans, is if you go back to the 80s, you look at the stock market, what the market did is it went up and up and up and up and up and up. And around the year 2000, we all made a lot of money. And in 2001, we might have got a little too excited, put a little too much money in, and we had our first opportunity to lose up to half of our savings. We went to our clients and said, you might want to move some money out of risk and put it into safe. And what everybody said to us back then is this will never happen again. They called that a fluke. Sure enough, by the year 2007, the stock market did get right back to even. Isn't that an interesting investment philosophy? If someone showed up at your house today and said, hey, give me all of your money, I guarantee you that 8 years from now I'll get you to even, you'd probably laugh at them. And you'd say that's not an investment philosophy. And yet, in 2008, people were dancing in the street. 2007, people were dancing in the street to get back to even. And then 2008 happens. This was our second opportunity to lose up to half. 2008 was my dad's year to retire. He lost up to 54%. And in that year, he did what 70% of Americans did. He moved his money out of risk and into safe. And my dad said, I really like working. Because when he lost half of his savings, half of his retirement, he couldn't afford to retire. And he asked this question. He said, when will this happen again? I'm no Nostradamus, but here's what I do know. Since then, the stock market's been going up and up and up and up and up and up. And here we are, it's the year 2019. The stock market is at a third all-time high in the last 20 years. And we have two groups of people. We have one group that moved their money from risk to safe. They've got their money in a CD or money market. And this group says, I'm frustrated. And they say I'm frustrated because their money's not growing. Does anybody know what the average CD or money market account's been paying for the last 10 years? 0.5%. We have a second group of people. So this group was frustrated their money's not growing. The second group says, I'm scared to go back into the stock market. Because they said what my dad said, if I lose another penny, I may never be able to afford to retire. So we started asking this question. If you could pick anywhere on this teeter-totter to be, if we could wave a magic wand and you could be anywhere on the teeter-totter with your savings, with your retirement, where would you like to be? What just about everybody says is, Andre, I want to be right in the middle. And what people mean by the middle is this. When the stock market goes up, just about everybody says, I want the upside. Would you all agree? Would you all like to have the upside of the stock market? See some nods, some eyebrows. That's right. But what don't we like about the stock market? Downside is the number one answer I get. Everybody says, Andre, this has the equal opportunity to lose. So everybody says, I want the upside and I want the 0% safety of the safe side. And then they chuckle and they say, Andre, where do you get the upside with downside protection? I've been learning French and I've learned two words. They are au contraire. This does exist, and it exists as something called an indexed account. When I first got started, I told you there were two questions that gets asked. I want to take a quick step back and I want to share with you those three principles about saving money. And I'm going to rewind the clock. I'm just going to go back 11 years. I was a business owner, and I had been a business owner for 15 years at this point. I had built a house in Breckenridge, Colorado. I had 4 kids, and I kind of thought I arrived, right? I was after that American dream. And in 2008, when the stock market crashed, guess what else crashed? My business. And I found myself at the end of 2008, $50,000 in debt, asking two questions. One, what am I going to do when I grow up? 2, who didn't teach me about money? How can I be a business owner? How can I have 4 kids and have a house and not know about money that when the market crashed, I lost everything? Well, I got invited to Money 101, this class tonight. And I remember sitting in the back of the class, watching Lyle teach these principles, thinking to myself, where were you 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago? These principles of money, nobody taught them to me. And as Lyle wrapped up the class, I tried to sneak out the back. I just didn't want to get embarrassed. Lyle meets me at the back of the room and he says, Andre, I think we could help you. And I said, Lyle, I don't think so. I'm $50,000 in debt. And he said, if you give me an hour, I'll give you an hour. Best decision I ever made. A week later, Lyle's at my house. And he says to me, Andre, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I teach people about something everybody wants to have, a big pile of money in savings. And he asked me this question. He said, Andre, could you save $5 a day? I'm going to ask all of you today, could you, Brian, Jean, John, Zach, could you save $5 a day? Yeah, it was a knee-jerk reaction. I was like, of course. I had a guy in California tell me I drink 4 cups of coffee a day. All I have to do, Andre, is drink 1 less cup of coffee, and that'd be my $5. And I laughed and said, and we should petition Starbucks to change the name to $5. Lyle says to me that day, did you know, Andre, that $5 a day over the next 40 years at a decent interest rate grows to $500,000? I got excited. And then I had the deer in the headlights look. And Lyle says, Andre, what happened? And I said, Lyle, I might have $5 a day, but there's no way I have $150 a month. This is emotion versus logic with our money. Don't most of us think of our money in months? 30 days, $5, all of a sudden 150, it's insurance, it's food on the table, it's barely a Verizon bill. Lyle says, no problem, Andre. We have a funnel program. And the way that this works is we take all the pieces of your financial household. We run them through the funnel, your IRA, your 401k, your Roth, your savings, your mortgage, insurances, student loan debt. That day, when Lyle refinances my money, he finds for me $300 of savings. That savings into this same equation grows to $1 million. That day when Lyle left, I had a $1 million savings and investment plan in place. I had hope again. Now, Lyle noticed I got excited, and he remembered telling me that I had lost everything, and he said, hey, would you be looking for some part-time work? And I said, yeah, I would, Lyle. And I said, but I don't think I could do what you do. And he says, I don't either, Andre, but I'd be willing to teach you and train you in an apprentice mentor-based program. 18 months later, moonlighting with Lyle, I paid off all $50,000 of my debt. 36 months later, I was making as much money a month with Lyle as I was at my job. So guess what I did? I got myself voluntarily fired. That was the day I understood this. If I could be a dad, have a business, lose everything from the market crash, I understood that there were probably millions of parents and moms and dads just like me who were looking and wanting to learn these principles. I made the decision that day to teach these principles around the United States. Who wished I showed up at your high school graduation and showed you that $5 a day would grow to $500,000? Here's the crazier question. Who would have had the discipline to do it? This is time value of money, $5 a day. Principle 1. The second principle is called compound interest. There's a guy by the name of Albert Einstein. When he discovered it, he called it the eighth wonder of the world. And there's an equation called the rule of 72 that says how compound interest works. Let's say you're earning 1% on your money, divided into the number 72. 1 into 72 is 72. That means it takes 72 years for your money to double. Some free advice, avoid 1% if you can. People ask me, they say, Andre, what difference does 2 or 3 or even 4% on my money make? Let me give you an example. There's these 3 sisters, and they're 29 years old each. Their uncle passes away. He leaves them $5,000 each, and he gives them 2 rules. You got to put the money in an account, number 1. Number 2, you can't touch it till you're 65. First sister goes down to the bank. Banker gets her 4%. And he says that means 4 into 72 is every 18 years that her money is going to double. 29 plus 18 is 47, plus 18 is 65. 5,000 doubles to 10, one more time to $20,000. Everybody follow my math? Did that make sense? 2 doublings because 4 into 72? Cool. Second sister, she comes to our workshop. She finds out you can still average up to 8%. 8 into 72 is 9 years that her money's going to double. 29 plus 9 is 38, plus 9 is 47. 5,000 doubles to 10, again to 20, and she matches her sister. But she's only 47. She gets 2 more doublings. 47 plus 9 is 56, plus 9 is 65. 20,000 doubles to 40,000, and one more time to $80,000. Big difference or a little difference? Huge. Who knew that such a small interest rate would make such a big difference in our money. Third sister, she says, I've seen 12% in the past. I think we'll see 12% in the future. I know it's not year over year, but what would that do to my money? 12 into 72 is every 6 years. 29 plus 6 is 35, plus 6 is 41, plus 6 is 47, plus 6 is 53. Her 5,000 doubles to 10, to 20, to 40, to $80,000. She matches her sister, but she's only 53. She gets 2 more doublings. 53 plus 6 is 59, plus 6 is 65. Her 80,000 doubles to 160, and one more time to $320,000. This is how compound interest works for you. Did you know it can work against you too? Imagine the next time you go buy something and you're ready to put it on credit, they say, stop. Before we can let you put this on credit and have compound interest work against you, we have to show you what that looks like. And this is what they say. We hope you buy this $5,000 item today. We'll start you at 4%. You'll miss a payment. We get to bump you to 8. We hope you miss another payment. We'll bump you to 12. You stop making your payments. That $5,000 item, compound interest against you, becomes a $320,000 debt. Imagine student loan debt in our country. Doesn't this change things about compound interest against you? Principle 2. The third principle that we need to know about saving money is the number one way that Americans pay less in tax. And that is to grow as much money as possible in a non-taxable account. I'm going to compare growing money in a non-taxable account to growing money in a taxable account. I'm going to go to two groups of people, and I'm going to make them both this deal. If you give me $1 today, I guarantee to double your money every year for the next 20 years. This group came to the class, they left, they remembered what they learned, and they implemented growing their money non-taxable. Their 1's going to double to 2. The next year, their 2's going to double to 4. The next year, their 4's going to double to 8. And if I do this math for the next 20 years, this account grows to $1,048,000. There's only one place in America you can double your money every year, guaranteed. That's a match at work. If you do 3% and they match you 3%, that's doubling your money each year. The other thing is, did you notice that when this 1 doubled to 2, no tax came out of the account? When 2 doubled to 4, no tax. When 4 doubled to 8, no taxes came out. That's the secret. No taxes came out while it grew. So let's compare this to growing money in a taxable. This group also came to it. They learned this principle, but when they left, they got amnesia. They end up at a bank. They buy a CD, and CDs are taxable, which means when the 1 doubles to 2, you end up with $1 of gain. Uncle Sam sends you a letter at the end of the year, and he says, where's my tax? Let's use 28% as the tax rate. When that 1 doubles to 2, you make $1, you pay 28 cents to Uncle Sam. So your 1 isn't really 2, it's $1.70. We gave 28% or 28 cents to Uncle Sam. And he's not our favorite uncle. But we told him we doubled their money. 172 doubles to 344. If we tax that down 28%, it becomes 296. When we double that, it's 592. If we tax that down, it becomes 509. When we double and tax the same account for the same 20 years, double and tax, if this one's $1,048,000, no tax, how much is this? If you've seen it before, don't type out the answer, but everybody think of a number. And whoever gets closest today gets free pie. My most popular guess is $250,000. My second most popular guess is $700,000. You ready for the real answer? $51,353. That's just a $1 million difference, knowing to grow your money in a non-taxable account. Most powerful thing I teach every day. Now, I usually have one person thinking, well, wait a minute, Andre. You grew me this $1,048,000. Don't I have to pay tax at the end? Let's just say you do. And let's use 50% as the tax rate. 50% on $1,048,000 is $524,000. That is 10 times as much as 51,353. Most powerful thing we teach every single day. So the three things we need to know about savings. Number one, time value of money, that $5 a day will grow to $500,000. Number two, compound interest, those that understand it earn it, those that don't pay it. And the third one is, most powerful, grow as much money as possible in a non-taxable account. What I want to do is take a step forward, and I'd like you to see the three principles of protecting the money we already have. You know, the number one thing that our clients tell us, the number one things that Americans think about in regards to their savings and their retirement is, what if I lose my savings or retirement and I don't have the same income anymore? What if I'm in retirement and all of a sudden the market loses value and I can't take as much money out of my account? The number one thing that retirees think about, boomers think about, people that are growing their savings is, how do I protect the money I already have? We really love what Warren Buffett teaches. Rule number one about money is never lose principal. Warren Buffett's second rule of money is don't forget rule number one. 15 years ago, when we put our company together, what we understood was that nobody was teaching people how to protect their savings. As we understood how an indexed account works, what we decided to do is start teaching Americans everywhere across the United States. I'm going to share with you how an indexed account works. When I'm done, you will know more than 92% of the population. The two things that indexed accounts do, number one, is they protect your money. They're contractually guaranteed to never lose a penny due to stock market performance. The second thing that indexed accounts do is they let you and I grow our money passively according to an index, such as the stock market. So let me give you an example of how that works. Let's compare the indexed account to the stock market. Indexed accounts look at the stock market 1 year at a time, and they ask this question. In this 1 year, did it start up and did it end down? And if that's the case, any year that the stock market goes down, the indexed account simply gets a 0. The money in the indexed account sits on the sideline. It's never in the market, so it doesn't lose. Year 2, stock market goes down again, -7. The indexed account, it gets a 0 also. Money sits on the sideline. Now, who's excited and who's not excited, right? Is this guy excited for getting 2 zeros in a row? Not particularly. But when we compare him to the expectation that he could have lost 15%, this guy's really excited. Year 3, stock market goes up. Whenever the stock market goes up, the index account looks at the stock market. At the end of the year, it says, was it an up year? If it credits positive interest, then the indexed account credits positive interest. So we have +0, +0, +8. And then in year 4, stock market goes down. Let's say it goes down -5. What happens in the indexed account? It gets a 0. The other thing that the indexed account does, not only does it get a 0 that year, but notice that it didn't give back its gain. Indexed accounts are like ratchets. They go click, 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 click. And when they ratchet up, they lock. Whenever money gets credited to an indexed account, it becomes part of its new money. It doesn't give it back if the market loses the next year. Now, this is what makes an indexed account not too good to be true. In year 5, the stock market goes up. Let's say it goes up 16%. One of the reasons that indexed accounts work is because when the indexed account goes up, it goes up to a ceiling in the stock market. You don't get all of the upside. When we look back for the last 25 years, indexed accounts have lived right around 13%. So when the stock market goes up 16% in the 5th year, the indexed account goes up 13%. Here's what our clients say to us. I would happily give up some of this upside to never participate in that minus 20%. People say zero is my hero. So I had a client who came to the workshop and he said, okay, Andre, I get it. My money goes up, it goes sideways, it goes up. He says, can you give me a real world example? And he asked me, could you compare 2000 to today? I said, sure. This is actual performance from the stock market to the indexed account for those 5 years, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 2005. Notice that the stock market account hadn't gotten back to even yet. 2006 happened to be an up year, 2007 happened to be an up year. So what happened in the indexed account? 2006, 2007. What happened in 2007 in 2008 in the stock market? Only minus 54%. He said to me, Andre, oh my gosh, that year that I lost half of my savings, I thought it was done. I thought I'd never be able to retire again. This right here, this part, this is why fixed indexed accounts are the retirement instrument of the future. What happened in the indexed account in 2008? It got a zero straight across. In 2008, the indexed account got a zero. Our clients called us and said, zero really is my hero. They brought us the Hallmark card, the big $25 one. They put cupcakes and brownies in it. Our clients were more excited this year when they didn't lose than these other years when they had positive gains. No, the stock market since then has been doing this. 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Most people in their stock market accounts got back to even, 15, 16, 17, and then 2008 was a down year. What happened in the indexed account? Same period, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Lines are shortened for dramatization because I run out of room on the board. 2018 happened to be a down year. It was a zero. He says to me, Andre, I had $100,000 in my stock market account in the year 2000. He says, I've been watching my stock market account go up and down, up and down. I feel like I've been riding a roller coaster for the last 18 years. He says, quite frankly, Andre, I would love to get off this roller coaster. He said, if I had met you in 2000, he says, I know that my money, that $100,000 to today, my account in the stock market is $245,000. He says, I made my money back, but whew, it was a rough, bumpy, roller coaster-y ride. I lost many nights of sleep wondering, was I going to have to push my retirement age out and push it out? I wondered a couple times if I'd ever be able to retire. He said, if I had met you in 2000, if I had got an indexed account, what's the value on the indexed account today? If I had put my $100,000 in that indexed account with a 0% floor and a 13% ceiling, the indexed account right now is $337,000. That's almost a third difference because of one reason. Indexed accounts are not in the market, so they never lose money. Because an indexed account never has a down year, it never has to spend time making up for loss. What people don't account for is how many years it takes to get back to even. Even giving up some of the upside, the indexed account outperforms the stock market because you never have to make up for loss. He asked me, Andre, why didn't my banker, my broker, my 401k company tell me about the indexed account? Simple. The way that bankers and 401k companies and brokers get paid is a management fee. But your money has to be in the market to get their fee. And because the indexed account, because it's not in the market, there's no management fee. So simply, because indexed accounts are no fee based, they don't get paid to offer it. We're not anti-stock market. We're not anti-stock broker. We are, however, pro-safe. We call this SWAN insurance. Sleep well at night. You now know more than 92% of the population does about fixed indexed accounts, and you understand why people who have their money in fixed indexed accounts, they don't worry about down years or down months or down weeks in the market. Why this is the retirement instrument of the future. This is accumulation. This is growing our money. There's one thing that is as good, maybe even better than accumulation. Oh, by the way, if the stock market does go down in the future, I don't know if it will, but would you rather have your money in a stock market account that might go down, 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 down? Or would you rather have your money in an indexed account that'll go sideways and you'll never lose your money? So that one thing that might be better than accumulation is distribution. Let's say you have $1 million saved up. You show up at the office and you say, I want all of my million. I move into the equator to live in a leaf. Or hot zona, it's just as hot in Phoenix. How much of that million do you get versus does Uncle Sam let you have? I hear things like 50-50, 80-20. I had a guy once say 70-10. Here's what we know. If you don't have distribution set up right, you're lucky to get 60 cents on the dollar. We have a program, and it's called tax-free index account. And every dollar that gets deposited into this account grows non-taxable. Remember, 1 doubles to 2, doubles to 4, doubles to 8. And every dollar that comes out 100% tax-free for any purpose at any age. The question I get a lot is, can I do this for college savings? Yes, you may. Let's compare it to a 529 plan. A 529 plan, similar tax code, it also grows non-taxable. It also comes out tax-free. However, only for an accredited college. What that means is if your son's like my son, he wants to be a YouTuber at no accredited college. That means I can't use the 529 for that school. A tax-free indexed account, I can use this for any purpose. We call it $1 million baby. I can use it for their first bike, their first car, the year abroad while they figure out who they want to be. If they go to school, I can use it for college. If they don't, I can use it for a business, for a house, or savings for their future. One other big difference. If you've got a 529 and you have $100,000 saved up in it, and you do the financial aid, the FAFSA forms, if you show them that you have this 100,000 in a 529, they're going to say, disqualified. You have too much money. A tax-free index account, when the government built this, when the IRS put the tax code with the help of the wealthy guiding this account, what they said is, because you're protecting yourself, because you're saving for your future, we're going to make this a non-visible asset. And what that means is, when you have $100,000 in this account, you do the financial aid or FAFSA forms, you don't have to tell them about the 100,000. You get financial aid or FAFSA and you use the 100,000 to pay for school. if you're a business owner. If you paid your tax to Uncle Sam, take that extra money, put it in the tax-free indexed account, it becomes non-visible, you grow it non-taxable, you can access it tax-free later. If you're 70, over 70, approaching 70, if you want to rescue your RMDs, if you don't need your money, take your RMD out when the government makes you, put it back in this account, grow it, access it back non-taxable. This is the most powerful financial instrument on the planet today. The wealthy have been using it and teaching it for really hundreds of years. 15 years ago, when we understood that us Americans, we could have this account with $100 a month, we said, Eureka! We need to teach everybody in America how to have this. Second principle of protecting the money you already have. Now the third principle, and this is where I'll wrap us up for today, is called living benefits. And the way that living benefits works is this. Its purpose is to protect your financial household. This is what it does. Let's say that this is your income. Let's say this is your expenses. Keep your income above your expenses. Let's say you're going through life making money. Think of somebody you know that had a negative life event. A negative life event like a heart attack. Think of somebody you know that's had cancer. Think of somebody you know that's had a stroke. When those are the big three. And when that happened to that person, think about Facebook, probably a GoFundMe. When that happened, what happened to this person's income? For most people in America, it goes down. What happened to their expenses? For most people in America, it goes up. And where these two cross, 60% of Americans end up in bankruptcy. And it's medical bill related. Because health insurance paid the doctor. But what didn't it pay? Mortgage, food on the table, insurances. Didn't replace your income, didn't replace your spouse's income. It doesn't even pay Netflix or the internet. If you're going to stay home, don't you want to binge watch something while you're recovering? Yeah. So what do? Americans reach into their savings. They reach into their 401k, their IRA, their deferred comp, TSP, their house, their business. They sell their house. They move in with mom and dad. Help. That's why our parents keep moving to Florida. No basements. That's why kids move to Arizona. Here's what living benefits does. Very simple. Living benefits looks at this negative life event and it says, because you lived through one of those life events, we're going to give you access to a big pile of money to keep your money above your expenses. I'm going to use life insurance as an example. For those of you that have life insurance, think about why you have it. No, think about who it's for, right? It's not for me, is it? My life insurance is for them, for my wife, for my kids. And the purpose of my life insurance is to leave 10 years of my income to my spouse, pay off the house, any debts, $100,000 in account for each of the kids to go to college, $50,000 for her to bury me, and take her new husband on an amazing vacation. Not for her, for him. Mighty big shoes to fill. But what do I have to do for her to get the life insurance? I gotta die. This should really be called death insurance. But nobody would buy it when they called it that, so they changed the name. Imagine this. Imagine if life insurance didn't only pay you to die. Imagine if life insurance paid you because you live through that life event. One of the big reasons that we put our company together 15 years ago is because there is a life insurance like that today. And it's called Living Benefits Life Insurance. And it says this: if you have the new kind of Living Benefits Life Insurance, if you have a term life insurance, We'll give you access to 75% of your death benefit because you live. And it pays three main ways. If you get diagnosed with a terminal illness, if you have a heart attack, a critical illness, a heart attack, a stroke, cancer, cognitive impairment like hitting your head doing hot yoga, ALS, blindness, Lou Gehrig's disease, coma, third-degree burns, lose a limb, lose an organ. If you have a chronic illness, that's if you have like a long-term care event, you can't do 2 of your 6 activities of daily living. And, or if you die. We had a client who came to the workshop 5 years ago. She saw our workshop. She says, I want that tax-free college savings. So we got together with her. Nicole set up her account. And Nicole asked her, do you have life insurance? And she said, no, I'm in my 50s. Life insurance is going to get expensive. I'm going to probably outlive it. You know, I have to die to get the money. She said, but I know I'm 8 times more likely to have one of these events before I have one of these events. She says, I want some living benefits life insurance. So we set her up. Nicole made that happen. That was 5 years ago. 2 years later, she called Nicole. She said, Nicole, I got diagnosed with cancer. We submitted the diagnosis to life insurance company. Life insurance company said, you may have $400,000 of your $500,000 term life insurance policy. She didn't miss a beat financially. She quit her job. She did naturopathic care. She went out of the country to see her parents. She took her daughter with her. She started a passion career. This is what she said to Nicole. Nicole, when you invited me to Money 101 those years back, when you gave me the gift of knowledge, the gift of understanding, the gift of Money 101, I didn't really know why you invited me, but I came because you invited. She said, Nicole, you are my hero. If you hadn't invited me, if I didn't find out, if I didn't get those living benefits, my life would be totally different today. She says, I want to say thank you, Nicole. You changed my life. I want to invite you to come back to our class. We do this workshop over 100 times a month. Classrooms, fire departments, police departments, conference rooms, restaurants, one-on-one, big businesses, small businesses, over a kitchen table. We do it 10 times a month like this. 4 years ago, one of you asked us to teach this class because you had family in Connecticut. That was our first online Money 101. Thanks for helping us make it great. I invite you to come back. Maybe you're like me and you thought of somebody. Maybe you know somebody and they never want to lose another penny of their money, their savings, their deferred comp, their IRA, their 401k, their 403b, their TSP. They never want to lose their savings or retirement again. I invite you to be their hero. Invite them to come learn in person, or we do this class 10 times a month online. Maybe you know somebody who just had a baby and they want to protect. Maybe you know somebody who just had a baby in the last 10 years and they want the best college savings plan out there. Or a business owner that doesn't want to keep paying taxes, or somebody approaching 70 that wants to rescue or protect their RMDs. Maybe you have a brother, a sister, a cousin, an aunt, a mom, a dad, a friend, and if they have a living benefits life event, you don't want them to move in with you. I'm just being cute. But how cool would it be for you to be their hero? Could you imagine if you invited them to a class and they got an indexed account or a tax-free indexed account or living benefits, and a few years from now something happened and they called you up and they said, Jean, Brian, Renita, John, Hala, Robert, Zach, Scott, Monica, Charlie, Melanie, Tomoka, William, you are my hero. If you hadn't invited me to that class a few years ago, I never would have known. And because of you, I didn't lose a penny. Because of you, we were able to pay for that specialty cupcake program in Paris. Because of you, we didn't miss a beat financially. They say thank you. If you do nothing else today, I have one request. Would you reach out to the person that invited you? Would you express some gratitude to them? Will you tell them, thank you. Thank you for thinking enough of me and inviting me to Money 101. And say, P.S., you owe me free pie. Andre says you owe me free pie. We do this workshop online like this every single Thursday night at this time. This is 5:30 p.m. Colorado or Mountain Time. I invite you to attend again. We also do this workshop on Saturday mornings and Monday nights and Tuesdays and Wednesdays. The person that invited you has our calendar. They have our schedule of when the classes are. I invite you to reach out to them and say, I want to go again. How do I find out? And tell them they owe you free pie. Get back with them. Get them to sit down and answer some questions. If you want to change something in your life, you probably have to change something in your life. I want to thank you for joining me at Money 101. I look forward to seeing you again. And with that, I have this question. Tonight, what was that one thing that grabbed your attention? If I could get one or two of you, share with me what was that one thing that stood out for you that grabbed your attention this evening that was like, that was for me.